Hey, welcome back to Practice Made Easy, where our goal is to help you create freedom through a staff-driven team that grows your business with or without you even present. Now, I can guarantee that you watching this video, that's right, you're the one watching this video, then you would rather experience death than speak in front of a large group of people. I say that because the law of averages tells me that's true because over 75% of people have a bigger fear of public speaking than they do of dying. That's right, that's a real stat, believe it or not. So what am I discussing today? Well, that's the importance of public speaking and to be an empowering figure in your community with your team as well as with your patients. Now, remember this, the one on the stage is the one with the influence. So when I share with you a bit about why that's so important, I remember my first talk I ever did, my first major talk in front of a group. The first tip, never wear gray button-up shirts if you're a guy doing a public speaking talk. Now, why is that? Because when you wear a gray button-up shirt, when you sweat, it shows like black water all over your shirt. That was my first experience failing at public speaking. I had no idea what I was doing, but when I did it to do something that would be difficult and to get out of my comfort zone. I was in my early 20s and I was doing a talk in front of a big group, on a big leadership group. When I was asked to do this talk, it was going to be in front of 100 people. And it was something I was familiar with. I was familiar with the PowerPoints and the information. But speaking was going to be another big problem. I was terrified of it. I'll never forget when I actually was up on stage, my face got red. And you know when you're embarrassed, you start getting red and you feel yourself getting flushed, you get hotter and hotter and hotter. Then you start sweating, that flushed sweat goes down the side of your brows. And all of a sudden you look down and the entire shirt, I mean everything, is drenched. And I look down, you can just see it, it's all wet. And I got rings of sweat around here, rings of sweat around here, and it is just a nightmare. And not only was I red and sweating, it was bad. So what did I learn from that? It's important that when you look at what it takes to be successful in public speaking, it's just repetition. A lot of times it's just repetition and getting up there and doing it. But at the end of that talk, people were actually telling me how much they enjoyed the talk. No one mentioned about how I had sweat everywhere and I was nervous, I didn't know what I was doing. They appreciated the information I gave from a position of influence and empowerment from the stage. So that's what I want you guys to take a look at. What is your story? What is it that you want to get across to your patients and to your community? And how can you use a stage to utilize that position of empowerment? Again, the one on the stage is the one with the influence. And it also applies in front of a camera. So here's the goal, here's the trick, here's the homework I'm going to give you to do today. I want you guys to share your story in 60 seconds or less, why you became a chiropractor or the vision behind your practice. And you have to do that 2 to 3 different times over the next week in front of a group of 2, 3, 5 people, or even better at a lunch and learn or a networking talk that you're going to be a part of this upcoming week. Do that, get the repetition in place, and put yourself in a position of power to empower those around you and those in your community and be able to have your communication scale far and wide. That's today's simple tip for you as part of Practice Made Easy. I'll see you guys on the next one.